we started looking for a place that would be permanent outside of the Chama building, we looked at a lot of places. I was real involved with it. There was 4 or 5 of us that were looking more with Alan. And you know, nothing ever really seemed to fit. We had ideas, we couldn't come up, didn't really have the money for the things we liked.
I mean, Alan was looking for, I think for at least a year or more, looking for the right place.
It actually wasn't until Pastor Errol left and to pursue a business venture that we could afford a building. But then almost immediately when he left, a realtor that had worked with me at the Baptist church just randomly contacted me out of the blue and said, I don't know, I felt like I needed to contact you. And when he did, I said, I need a building, and I want it in the I-25 North corridor, and I want a warehouse and that I can convert into a church building. And I mean, he found it immediately.
When we came across the place that we had, it seemed like everybody was just a resounding yes, that it was the place that we needed to be.
And we took one look at the building, and I was like, you know, this is it. Now you have to understand, where the auditorium is was a drive-in warehouse where machinery was worked on, and all of this was a maze of offices.
We tore it down to a shell. I can remember our life group, we had the kids in our life group with hammers knocking down sheetrock. Oh, they were so excited. They got to knock down walls.
The idea was that we wanted to stain the concrete floor, and the people who were professionals in staining floors had told us to get the floors really clean.
Tearing out the carpet, cleaning off all the glue that was on it, which was nasty stuff, and then getting it ready to do the coloring and stuff.
Of all the jobs that we did in that season, that was the one I think was the hardest job, was taking these scrapers and trying to scrape. I mean, there was 15 of us scraping, and it took us a week, maybe 2 weeks to scrape.
We pooled our resources to renovate this building, and we all came together with our own blood, sweat, and tears. How many evenings did we stand out there and scrape those floors?
Beverly Kyler, who was with us in those days, just did such a beautiful job designing everything. She did things really simply, but with elegance. She had a lot of style, a lot of understanding of how to make things look beautiful. And Bev, she spent untold hours of giving herself to this building to help us have a great building.
And there was really something where we were knit together because we were working on a project together. And so we spent, I think it was about 4 or 5 months rebuilding the interior of the church.
We had night after night for months, we had 15, 20, 30 people showing up at the church to work and to help renovate. So, it brought people together socially and spiritually, and so it was a great time. It was a time where everybody just pitched in and helped do the work.
Steve Carlson was the biggest part of that. He would just say, "What do I do?" I wouldn't know what I was doing. I would just do my little spot and sing. He was amazing through that whole thing. He was always there.
Steve Carlson broke his health by seeing to it that we had a building. He worked day and night.
I was always impressed initially by the fact that Alan and the leadership teams and those that were in decision making, were never looking at where we were at and wanting to stay there. They were always looking at what can we do next. Moving to new buildings, new places, expanding, new ideas.
It's those kinds of times that are so significant for you. God just provided for us. People that have come since we renovated this building are not even aware that when we laid the carpet in the auditorium, so many of us came together, and so we have Bible verses on those floors underneath the carpet. So every Sunday when you worship, you're standing on a foundation that we set in place.
Seems like it was January the 24th, and that's just by memory. I might be wrong. I remember that the weekend came that we were going to have the grand opening to get in this building. Gary went and prepared a song. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Just a magnificently inspired song that he sang, that he wrote for us, so that we would have a triumphant song. I think of all things that Gary ever wrote, that's the thing that was the one that staggered me the most.
I remember writing the song thinking that the presence of God was going to be with us. That the song wasn't just for the building, the song was, we are the people of God. And of course that flows out of the whole idea and concept of God's loving covenant made with us, His faithfulness to the covenant, and that we should lift our heads.
The attendance that we had on that one day sort of matches the attendance that we normally have on weekends in all our services now. It's like Gail said, those days were days when everybody helped. It was just amazing, day and night.